We're taking you into the news right now with the Fox 45 news feed. It's 11 a.m. The squeegee kid convicted of killing a Baltimore driver is in court for his sentencing hearing. Coming up, how long he could face behind bars and how the family of Timothy Reynolds is remembering their loved one. And the case against former Baltimore City State's Attorney Marilyn Mosby heads to court today. Coming up, how soon the trial could begin. We're keeping a close eye on the situation in the Middle East. Coming up, how the war is impacting fuel prices here at home. Fox 45 News Midday starts now.
Live from WBFF in Baltimore, this is Fox 45 News Midday.
Thanks so much for joining us for Fox 45 News Midday. I'm Shannon Lilly. Right now, the teenage squeegee kid who was convicted of killing Baltimore City driver Timothy Reynolds is being sentenced. Tavon Scott is facing up to 35 years in prison. Over the summer, a jury convicted the now 16-year-old of voluntary manslaughter as well as a gun charge. He was found not guilty of first and second-degree murder. The jury rejecting the idea the crime was premeditated due to Reynolds approaching the group of squeegee kids with a baseball bat. The killing happened in 2022 at the intersection of Light and Conway Streets. Ahead of today's sentencing hearing, Reynolds' family returned to the scene of the crime on Sunday. The family then made their way to M&T Bank Stadium, cheering for the Ravens with heavy hearts, remembering his love for the team and the city. The Ravens paid tribute to Reynolds with a message on the video board at halftime.
This is something that my brother would love. He would love all his family out here together at the Ravens game. We know he's with us in spirit.
Now, as for today's sentencing hearing, we have a reporter inside the courtroom, and we will bring you updates on air and on our website at foxbaltimore.com. Elsewhere in a city in crisis, today, former City State's Attorney Marilyn Mosby is expected to have another pretrial hearing. She's facing 4 federal charges, 2 for perjury and 2 for making false statements on a loan application. Olivia Dance is outside the courthouse with a closer look at where the case stands ahead of today's hearing. Olivia?
Well, Marilyn Mosby's trial is quickly approaching. In fact, jury selection is scheduled to begin on October 31st. The trial is scheduled to start on November 2nd, but today her defense team is expected to be back here at the federal courthouse in Baltimore for another pretrial hearing. It's still unclear if Mosby herself will be attending today's hearing, and if so, if she'll be in person or virtual. Trial itself won't be here at the federal courthouse in Baltimore. Instead, it will be at the federal courthouse in Greenbelt after Mosby's team successfully sought a change of venue at one of the previous pretrial hearings. Her team cites significant media coverage of Mosby and the trial proceedings. Her defense commissioned a jury consultant to complete a survey finding that 45% of residents in the city believe that Mosby is somewhat or very corrupt, compared to just 26% in Greenbelt. Back in September, a judge granted Mosby's change of venue request. Defense attorney Jeremy Eldridge, who's not involved in this case, weighs in. Take a listen to what he said.
Marilyn Mosby has made an obstacle of every part of this trial.
In a separate ruling, the judge also deciding to separate Mosby's case in 2, holding one trial for Mosby's perjury charges. Again, that's starting November 2nd, and then another trial for the 2 mortgage fraud charges. The defense arguing that Mosby plans to take the stand in one case and exercise her right to remain silent in the other. The prosecution calling the decisions a colossal waste of resources. And of course, you can find more details on today's pretrial hearing on our website, foxbaltimore.com. But for now, reporting in Baltimore, I'm Olivia Dance, Fox 45 News.
All right, Olivia, thank you. Fox 45 News will continue to follow the latest developments in Marilyn Mosby's legal troubles. You can find all of our reporting on our website. That's foxbaltimore.com. 11:04 now, and we are following breaking news at the Live Center surrounding the Middle East. Israeli planes are continuing to strike targets across the Gaza Strip. These attacks come as Israel is expected to launch a ground operation in Gaza after Hamas's October 7th attack on Israeli towns. Israel's military says it has increased airstrikes on Gaza in order to reduce the risk to its troops. More than 1,400 people have been killed in Israel, mostly during that initial Hamas attack. attack. The U.S. is deploying additional resources to protect its own forces in the region. According to the Pentagon, that includes an anti-ballistic missile defense system and several Patriot battalions. The U.S. is also deploying the USS Dwight D. Eisenhower to the eastern Mediterranean Sea, where they'll join another carrier strike group currently stationed there. Speaking on a ABC Sunday, Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin said the U.S. will take appropriate action in response to any escalation in the Middle East.
If any group or any country is looking to widen this conflict and take advantage of this very unfortunate situation that we see, our advice is don't. We maintain the right to defend ourselves, and we won't hesitate to take the appropriate action.
Meanwhile, President Biden is sending an urgent budget request to Congress for additional aid for Israel and Ukraine, which is expected to cost $100 billion. Fox 45 News will continue to bring you the latest on the war. You can follow along on air and online at foxbaltimore.com. Here's our look at today's top trending stories. Trending number 1, the search continues for the man accused of killing a Maryland judge. Police say Judge Andrew Wilkinson was shot multiple times outside his home in Hagerstown on Thursday night.
This was a targeted attack on Judge Wilkinson. We've identified Pedro Argote, 49, of Frederick, Maryland, as a suspect in this case.
Well, Washington County police say Pedro Argote killed Wilkinson as an act of revenge because Wilkinson signed off on his divorce papers ordering sole custody of his 4 children to his ex-wife. Police have located Argote's car, but he's still on the run. Trending number 2, the city is seeing an uptick in the number of cars being stolen. For months, we've heard from victims, law enforcement, and insurance companies, but now we're hearing from another group. Those who own car dealerships tell us they're seeing the impact of rising thefts. In Owings Mills, Len Stoller Automotive is noticing a change in why some customers come in looking to buy a car.
We've probably seen at least, I'd say anywhere from a 5 to 8% increase in customers that have come in that have had a car stolen, and obviously they need to have their car replaced.
Well, at the current rate, Baltimore will reach 10,000 car thefts before the end of November. Trending number 3, a solemn moment at the Ravens game. The Ravens taking time to honor the firefighters involved in Thursday's deadly fire in Northwest Baltimore. Rodney Pitts, pictured on the left side of the screen, died in the fire. 4 others were injured. Trending number 4, the team marking a huge win over the Detroit Lions. The Ravens dominated one of the best teams in the NFC. Final score, Baltimore 38, Lions 6. Now they are looking ahead to this Sunday's game in Arizona against the Cardinals. Download the Fox 45 News app for up-to-the-minute traffic conditions, breaking news, and weather anytime. Just search WBFF in your app store. Still ahead, if you had a hard time waking up this morning, I know I did, maybe you hit snooze a few times. Well, it turns out hitting snooze may not be all that bad. Coming up, the hidden health benefits one study is linking to hitting snooze. I like that. And New Jersey Senator Bob Menendez due back in court today on new charges. Coming up, how he's accused of acting as a foreign agent and how voters are responding. But first, a police chief's son is accused of trying to kill 2 officers. Coming up, a closer look at the manhunt and what we're learning about the suspect's relationship with his cop father.
Well, we'll see more sunshine again today, less wind, and temperatures that'll be pretty close to average, much warmer as we head later into the week. But overall, not bad. We'll see those 60s again for today. Drop into the 40s overnight. Some frost advisories we have to deal with on Tuesday morning, and then we're right back to 70 degrees on Tuesday afternoon. We'll talk about the big warm-up later this week, coming up in a few.
Fox 45 News, winner of 16 2022 Regional Emmy Awards, more than all other Baltimore news stations combined.
It's time now to take a look at your social stream. A manhunt is underway in Tennessee for a man suspected of shooting and injuring 2 police officers. The suspect, 38-year-old John Drake Jr., is also the estranged son of Nashville's police chief. Authorities say on Saturday he shot the officers outside a Dollar General as they were investigating a stolen vehicle. Drake is a convicted felon and is now facing 2 counts of attempted first-degree murder. Police are offering a $2,500 reward for information leading to his arrest. So people responding online, this user says, I hope the law catches up with him soon. Here's another one. Sad times for all the families involved. U.S. Senator Bob Menendez is due in federal court today over accusations he acted as an agent for the Egyptian government. The Democrat is expected to enter a not guilty plea for the conspiracy charge against him. This is on top of last month's corruption charge, which accuses him of using his influence over foreign affairs in exchange for bribes like gold bars and money. David says, what an embarrassing mess, even for Congress. He needed to resign months ago. Taylor Swift continues to dominate at the box office with the Eras Tour concert film. It topped the domestic box office for a second weekend and made another $31 million. In the 2 weeks it's been out, it's taken in roughly $164 million total. It is now the highest ever grossing concert film in North America. Are we even surprised, though? She is on a roll. This person says that is where it deserved to be. I expected it to be until the world tour ends, which will be for months. Like I said, she's on a roll. She's going to continue to dominate. It's just what she does. Still ahead, store brand or generic. If you find yourself reaching for the more expensive option, you're not alone. What a new survey is revealing about brand loyalty despite inflation. And the House is set to resume talks today as the search for a new speaker enters week 4. Coming up, what ousted former Speaker Kevin McCarthy is saying about his party's infighting. And coming up at noon, it's Karamo, then at 1 it's Sherry, followed by Hot Bench at 2. It's 11:13. You're watching Fox 45 News Midday. Well, we are back and we are giving you a live look over the Inner Harbor. It was a chilly start to your work week, but things are slowly warming up. Coming up, when we could hit 70s and how long that will last. Happening today, another push from House Republicans to elect a speaker. There are at least 9 Republicans now vying for House Speaker. Today, they'll be making their case for the position. A vote could start as early as tomorrow. It comes as the lower chamber enters its 3rd week without leadership. While on Meet the Press Sunday, former Speaker Kevin McCarthy threw his support behind House Majority Whip Tom Emmer, saying he has the skills needed for the role.
I believe Tom Emmer, our whip, he's been in the room with all of our successes, from our bills to secure the border, from Parents' Bill of Rights, from cutting $2 trillion, getting work requirements. He knows how to do the job across the street at the same time, helping us win the majority.
Now, McCarthy had also supported the previous two speaker nominees who both failed to succeed him following McCarthy's ousting earlier this month. Topping world news, global oil prices have fallen slightly as the crisis in the Middle East continues. Brent crude, which is considered the international benchmark price point, fell slightly to just under $92 a barrel this morning. U.S. West Texas Intermediate also fell slightly to just below $88 a barrel. Oil prices have gone as high as $96 per barrel in the aftermath of the attack from Hamas. Dozens of entertainment industry A-listers are now urging President Biden to push for an immediate ceasefire in Gaza. About 55 celebrities, including Academy Award winner Joaquin Phoenix and actress Cate Blanchett, have signed the letter calling for peace between the Israeli and Palestinian people. They also included a statement from UNICEF highlighting Gaza's shortage of food, water, and medical supplies following Israel's counterattack. Coming up tonight at 4, the squeegee kid accused of murdering a Baltimore driver last summer in court today. Fox 45 News is analyzing the new developments. More questions surrounding the Safe Streets program. We demand answers on how your tax dollars are being spent. Plus, vacant homes in Baltimore, a continuous problem for residents. One business owner is sounding the alarm. You can get Fox 45 News in a flash through your Amazon Alexa or Echo. We now deliver your local headlines and your forecast in less than 2 minutes. If you have an Amazon device, just tell it to enable Fox 45 Baltimore. Trending now, despite inflation pushing prices all the way up, a new survey finds many Americans are not afraid to spend a little more money to get brand names instead of cheaper generic options. And that's especially true when it comes to foods.
Most consumers tell us that in the beverage aisle, name brands are more tasty. Coke and Pepsi are more tasty than their generic alternatives. We also find that 2/3 of consumers are willing to pay as much as 30% premium for those name brand products.
Now, on the other hand, shoppers could be more likely to buy generic snack foods over brand name options if they see a larger discount. Consumers are also less picky about brand names when buying fresh produce and meat. So Mark Clark with Be More Lifestyle is here now. Mark, so what kind of guy are you? Are you a brand name guy or generic?
No. Yeah, I'm not going to taste no bad, no name brand, bad tasting, cheap item. I'm the kind of person that I will do it out if I can't get the quality that I want. You know?
Yeah.
Especially meats. Are you kidding me?
I know. I was surprised that that's where people are willing to kind of...
Do not start with some cheap meats. Oh, no, sir. I will be vegetarian. And like you said, when it comes even like soda, if I want to have my cancer-causing, sugar-induced high, I want to have it the name brand.
You need to have it the right way.
But I'm just going to say, I'm not going to name the store. I was around when this one store that prided itself on not having name brands, when you just order it to be like cola or bread. I'm not going to name the store.
And how was it?
I remember when it came out, and I even as a kid, I was like, this is not peanut butter. What is this? So
you knew from the beginning. Yeah, yes. I feel like my dad would always try to trick us, and we'd be like, you didn't get the right thing.
Nah.
This doesn't taste normal.
Some things you can interchange, but nah.
Not most food items, I would say.
I stay away from it.
Yeah. All right, thanks, Mark. All right, well, it was a chilly start to the morning, and as meteorologist Justin Chambers shows us, the fall leaves are really starting to change over. Justin?
This is a really cool picture here on Twitter from my buddy Ed. This is over in North Carolina, that F-15 over some of the fall colors there, and you can see that. You can't really see how awesome that picture is. We know a lot of those great fall pictures continue to come in. We're getting some good leaves and good changeover for our leaves right here, even in Baltimore City and County. Overall, in your hour-by-hour forecast numbers here, we'll be in the upper 50s through noontime. We'll be in the low to mid 60s for the afternoon, and note the average high of 66. So pretty close to that number for today. And also less wind. Those temperatures are going to hang out in the 60s. The sun is only up until 6:17, definitely getting those shorter daylight hours, about 2 weeks away from the time change where we'll fall back. Upper 50s and lower 60s for Westminster and Bel Air today, 64 in Baltimore City. We'll keep those low to mid 60s going up and down the East Coast for Philly and Baltimore, down through D.C., even 62 in Cumberland, Western Maryland today. Maybe you're flying out to Western Maryland on your pilot cast, VFR and breezy. So visual flight rules, still a bit breezy at times, not nearly as gusty as we were for the last couple of days. Now, we do have frost advisories. This is through early Tuesday morning. This is pretty much all of us here in Central Maryland, not the Eastern Shore, but we do have them in Cecil County and also Hartford, Baltimore City and County, and all those areas in blue. So we could have to deal with some frost on the plants here on your Tuesday morning. That's just because we have those temperatures that will drop overnight and we'll have a lot less wind to kind of mix the air around. So Tuesday afternoon, though, looking great, as is Wednesday and Thursday. All the rain stays well away from us as we head later into the work week, so we're not really tracking much in the way of precipitation. You can see that on your 10-day forecast. So lower 70s tomorrow, mid to upper 70s into Wednesday and Thursday, and then some 80s as we approach the weekend. But next week, we will be much cooler as we head toward Halloween and November.
All right, thanks, Justin. Still ahead, enjoying the perks without the price. Coming up, the new way to take advantage of hotel amenities without an overnight stay. But first, it's been 100 days since Hollywood actors went on strike, when talks are set to resume between the two sides. It's 11:22. You're watching Fox 45 News Midday. Don't miss this. A dinosaur bone heist in Utah. A federal grand jury has indicted 4 people for allegedly selling $1 million worth of dinosaur bones and other fossils to China. According to the Justice Department, that dollar amount represents roughly 150,000 pounds of paleontological resources illegally removed from Utah between 2018 and 2023. The actors' strike marks its 100th day with still no end in sight. Contract negotiations are set to resume tomorrow. Studio executives walked away from the talks more than a week ago as the two sides clashed over streaming revenue and the use of AI. Some of Hollywood's biggest stars, including George Clooney, are now offering to pay the union themselves in order to help end the strike. However, the union president says that won't resolve their issues with studios.
We are a federally regulated labor union, and the only contributions that can go into our pension and health funds must be from the employer. So what we are fighting for in terms of benefits has to remain in this contract.
Now, she goes on to say she's confident the upcoming talks will be positive. The current strike is now the longest ever actor strike in Hollywood history. Some surprising news from Hollywood. We have learned actress Meryl Streep and her husband Don Gummer are separated. A representative for Streep tells People magazine the couple separated more than 6 years ago. Streep's revelation comes just days after actress and talk show host Jada Pinkett Smith revealed she separated from her husband Will Smith more than 6 years ago as well. It is time now for your lunch break, and if you spend it dreaming about a vacation, listen up. A new app is letting you enjoy a mini staycation. Resort Pass lets you book hotel amenities without booking an overnight stay. The benefits can include access to spas, pools, private beaches, gyms, and event spaces for the day. That is what I'm talking about. That's what I need on a Monday morning. That's all the time we have for Fox 45 News Midday. Be More Lifestyles up next with Mark Clark here for a preview. Mark?
Shannon, the Ravens giving fans a lot to be proud of this weekend. We'll take a look at how they absolutely dominated the Lions and chat about Sunday's upcoming game against
You're watching Fox 45 in Baltimore. Now live from TV Hill, this is Be More Lifestyle.
And what's up, Baltimore? Mark Clark, and this is B1 Lifestyle Live from Studio A at Fox Baltimore. Comedian Ray Diva is here.
Hey, guys.
Along with legendary artist Lauren Cornish.
Hey, everybody.
Good morning, everybody. Let me tell you right now, a big weekend for the Ravens. The team making a huge win over the Detroit Lions. The Ravens dominated one of the best teams in the NFC. Final score, Baltimore 38, Lions 6. Now they're looking to take on the Arizona Cardinals. So, you know, it seems like we got it together this weekend.
We got it together.
You know?
Lamar Jackson and the FanDuel. That's all I want to say.
Oh, wait, did you get a little change?
I got a little change. I'm in the black now because I've been in the red since the app came out.
I didn't even know you were betting. Lauren, you're an artist. Do you like football stuff?
Yeah, I'm into. No.
I was gonna say you're an artist. Artists have no idea.
At the time. But I love it when they win. I mean, that must have been a great game.
It was an awesome game.
Ray Diva, you guys are two amazing artists, but it's interesting. You have diverse interests. Lauren, not so much. Ray, on your social media, we see you talk about relationships, sports, all kind of stuff.
But I'm not really into sports, but I do play around with FanDuel, and the time it paid off, because I want to put them on my taxes.
Now, if you say it one more time off the top.
Okay.
Now, if you had a hard time waking up this morning, maybe you need to snooze a few more minutes. It turns out hitting the snooze could offer some hidden health benefits. Researchers in Sweden say falling back asleep after your alarm goes off could help you wake up less groggy and even improve cognitive performance. So this morning was interesting. My wife normally gets up at 2:30.
Okay.
And I usually, then that kind of gets me up. Then I get up at like 3:34.
Right.
She didn't have to work today.
Ooh.
But I still woke up at like 3:15.
I don't.
You know, it's so funny.
Do you snooze, Lauren?
This morning, I swear, I hit the snooze button, and I was like, I wonder if this is a good thing or this is a bad thing.
You see?
You know,
it's a good thing.
should we just go ahead and wake up at the time where we cannot sleep anymore?
No, because then you're rushing the rest of your day. And if you snooze, you can lose.
Okay, wait a minute.
No, and not only that, you know, it's a health benefit on the body, but if you lose your job, that ain't healthy at all.
So you're not a snoozer?
Oh, I'm a
Well, I work for myself. I work for myself. Yes, be here with you. Like, I got to make sure I'm up on time.
Lauren, you can get up any time. But see, I see Lauren naked doing art at all times on social media. So I just assume you don't even get up in the morning.
Right.
What time does an artist
get up?
You
know, my sleeping patterns are so sporadic. You know, sometimes it's 2 hours, sometimes it's 3 hours. I have to work while that feel is on.
Lauren is naked and doing art at any time. You gotta check his phone.
Gotta get up,
I want you to tell it, do you hit the snooze or do you wake up right away? Vote on our website, foxbaltimore.com/vote. When you get to the website, make sure you click on the lifestyle tab. You can also vote on our FOX45 News app. At the end of the show, we'll see what everybody thinks. Now, if you're taking part in Sober October, you're not alone. The popularity of non-alcoholic beer is on the rise. In the U.S., a Wall Street Journal found that the sales for non-alcoholic beers jumped 32% from a year ago. The report adds improvements in brewing technology is making alcohol-free beer taste like normal traditional beer, which has helped boosting sales. Now, I'm not a taste beer person. My wife is. Are you a beer drinker?
No, I would never drink beer with no alcohol. I drink a Pepsi first.
Really?
Yes.
Now,
and
Lauren,
I don't understand people who do.
It's the taste.
You like the taste?
I do, but I haven't had a beer in over 15 years. But it's the taste. The
recovery?
Heineken beer, there's the dark beers, the warm beer.
Okay.
You know, it's the taste.
It's the taste. So you're a taste person. You like my wife?
Yes.
Now this is something I didn't. I was talking to a coworker, and I was like, "Well, does your dad drink beer?" He said, "Yeah, my dad does about 8 a night." And I was like, I didn't realize, but it is in America. People drink a lot of beer.
Does he do the pony bottles? Remember the pony bottle?
No.
Pack Miller?
Yeah,
He's doing the cans, baby. He's doing that. So
I'm from back in the day.
But it's interesting. I think if you don't drink beer, you probably aren't aware of that. But if you do drink beer, you're like, 8 to 10 cans.
8 to 10 beers is excessive. That's borderline alcoholic, Mark. Come on now, don't make that seem normal.
A lot of Americans,
8 to 10 beers is excessive.
A lot of Americans drink a lot of beer. Like one time, my friend was in town. He's a corporate guy.
Right.
We hung out for the week. We went out every night. He had a drink every night, and he chased it with a beer. And I was like, wow, this is what I think a lot of people do that. Probably more than 50%.
But Mark, you said 8 to 10 beers. I got that whole aesthetic don't look right.
The
Not
taste
8
of the
to 10
hops,
beers.
the blend of the beer, the color of the beer.
Break it down, Lauren.
The warmness of the beer.
Ew, now
the head of the
y'all
beer.
doing too much. Not no warm beer. Oh my God, that's just.
Dark beer warm is absolutely delicious.
Where are you
with
going to
that
be?
I'm at the DC Improv this weekend, the 25th through the 27th.
All right,
Come
thanks
see
so
you,
much.
girl.
Lauren, we'll see you later in the show. Still ahead, are you looking for a new car? If so, now's the time to buy. Coming up, how you can get on the road no matter what your credit. Sounds good to me. And once you get your car outfitted with the newest technology, coming up, the new roadside toolkit that fits perfectly into your trunk. We got a great show, some of Lauren's arts on the way, and more. Stick around.
You're watching Be More Lifestyle.
If you're prepping for a holiday road trip, don't get caught stuck on the side of the road. Nick Calderon from Local Steals and Deals is here to prepare you for unexpected things that can happen on America's Steals and Deals. Check this out.
The following segment is sponsored by Noki.
Not today, man. Dead car batteries. Every single time you're trying to get out of the house on time, be someplace, it happens. That click, click, click. Or you're on the side of the road on a gray, cold, dark day like today. It's never fun, but I have the answer for you. It's called the Jump Smart, and it can get you back on the road quickly. Watch this. Plug the two alligator clips in right here. Red clamp to red on the battery. Black to black, I get a beep and a green light, and now I can start my car back up. Just like that. I don't have to wait for roadside assistance or anybody else to come and help me out. I keep a Jump Smart in every family member's car. My daughters have one, my wife has one, and I know I have peace of mind, and so do they. It's also a 10-in-1 tool. It's got a compass, a thermometer, it's a flashlight and a strobe light, many other tools as well. And my favorite part, you can charge your cell phone with the two included USB ports on the back. If you lose power in a storm or something, just plug your phone in and you can stay connected with family and friends. Speaking of them, put one in every family member's car. 31% off right now at asadeals.com.
This Be More Lifestyle segment is sponsored by Jimmy the Boxer Auto Mall.
I'm at Jimmy the Boxer Auto Mall. I got the man in place. Jimmy, you're on the floor. You're working deals. Why are you out here doing this, man?
It's simple. I'm working deals all month long. I'm slashing prices. I'm dealing with problems. If you had a past repossession, you had a past problem, divorce, it doesn't matter. I'm working deals all month long.
And here's your chance to meet the man. If you want to be the man, you got to meet the man, Jimmy the Boxer.
Come meet me, and as I get you in your car, we're going to take a picture.
I love it. So, Jimmy, take us through the process.
It's very simple. Go to Jimmy the Boxer Auto Mall. You can apply now or call up, make an appointment. Come on down. I don't care what situation you got. I don't care if dealership said you owe too much on your trade. I'm going to get you out of it. I don't care if you've had a past repossession or divorce. It doesn't matter. Get down here all month long. I'm on the floor. Me and you will work the deal.
So, Jimmy, I want you to walk me through the process.
I'll show you the process.
Let's go.
So, Mark, the first part of the process is finding the car that you want.
Man, I see you got everything from the C8 Corvette to the new Teslas.
I carry a little bit of everything. You need a Corvette, we're good. You need a Tesla, you want to get on the electric? I got Teslas. But yet I got minivans, SUVs, small sedans, big sedans, whatever you need, I got it. And if not, I do special orders. So I'll go out there and get the car for you, regardless of the credit situation.
So Jimmy, you showed me the cars. You told me that you can solve my issues. But now where do we go to get the process started? How do we get there? How do we arrive?
It's simple. All you got to do is go to Jimmy the Boxer Auto Mall. You can apply now or take out your phone, put in Jimmy the Boxer Auto Mall. It's going to bring you right to me. And remember, I'm on the floor all month long. And not only am I on the floor, but I'm slashing prices and I'm selling cars. I don't care what the problem you've had. I don't care what situation you've been in. Get down here this month and you're gonna sit down with me and I'm gonna help you through your problem.
But Jimmy, before we wrap up, I got a question for you. What about the competition?
I'm knocking out the competition.
So if you need a car, you need to see my friend Jimmy the Boxer.
Get down here.
Why?
It's 4212 Ridge Road because I'm knocking out the competition.
Always a great time. It's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Coming up, how it takes more than wearing pink to make a difference. But first, I'll talk to an artist whose work is featured all over town and all over the world. Coming up next.
This is Be More Lifestyle.
Loring Cornish is known for his beautiful mosaics all over the country, but the legend is it all started by accident. We find him here on our couch. Lauren Cornish is here. So, man, the legend is, you know, it started by accident.
Started by accident.
What happened?
I was in California making a movie. It was Time Machine. I was on the movie set, short story, and I was waiting around for the actress to do her makeup, you know, the sun to go down. I was like, you know what, God, I could be worshiping you full time. True story.
Wow.
True story. And I said, and plus I want to trust you for more than a paycheck. Now, mind you, I had just made SAG, got into the union. You know, back then you got to do 3 of this and pay all this money and jump through hoops. I was making good money. The next morning I woke up, I did not go to the movie set to finish the movie. I stayed home, I put my gospel music on, and I started fixing up this rented house with some tiles that a friend of mine had given me. And the next thing you know, 6 months later, the entire house was a museum. I was recognized by the Getty Museum, and that's how I became an artist. It was it was from trusting God.
Wow.
You know?
And now look at you.
Yeah, man.
It's so funny. I saw you at Whole Foods, and young artists were coming up just saying, they just said, excuse me, sir, can I say? And so you really are a legendary artist. You have work all over the country.
Yes.
A lot of work in Baltimore. Right now, your work is being featured. Where's it being featured right now?
I'm featured right now in the American Visionary. We just opened the show on last Friday. I'm also have the major piece at the Reginald Lewis Museum that represents Reginald Lewis's mission statement.
I love it. That's my piece right here.
This is in the Smithsonian.
Okay, wow.
That's in the Smithsonian.
Wow.
The piece featured now reads Shalom. I was just featured on the cover of J. Moore magazine. I do a lot of work with the Jewish community. That piece is on Charles and Lanville. That's the police box.
Right, that's a signature.
Oh, woman on the pole, the whipping pole. One of those old foam chairs made out of nickels. And that's the police booth lit up. It says, trust, build trust in our communities. This photograph is me in one of my gallery spaces. And I have 2 gallery spaces, one in Hamden, 821 West 36th Street, and my premier one in Fells Point at 1622 Thames Street.
Well, and actually, I saw on social media you're in a dilemma.
Oh, yeah.
You asked the question on social media. So what's you're asking, should you keep them both?
Right.
So what's the question? Pose it to our
my
audience,
dilemma
maybe.
is, you know, I couldn't work for 3 months. So honestly, what is that? Hamden Gallery fell behind. I owe $20,000 to keep the Shalom Gallery.
Wow.
But I think the Shalom Gallery is important to keep because of all the anti-Semitic threats against the Jewish community is going on, and I opened that gallery in my support of the Jewish community.
Wow.
It was covered by all the news stations, and you know, just yesterday I went up to the gallery, and a young girl was 12 years old. She says, you know what, Lauren, I love this gallery. I really love it, and when she said it, it touched my spirit. And I have a huge sign in the window that talks about support of the Jewish community. And so I think it's important for me to not walk away from that mark.
Okay.
I think it's important for me to believe God even more, to raise the money and to keep I have a 5-year lease. So I'm on a quest to raise that $20,000. Some people think I should just walk away.
Well, you know, you have so many signature pieces, and you are an established legend in this community. How can people follow you? How can people support you? How can people, and I also know you do commission work. I have friends who have enough money to get commission work. One day I will. How can people do that? Follow you, support you, and do whatever you're doing.
So my Facebook page is Lauren Cornish, Loring, as the name is written on the screen. And you can follow me there. Visit my gallery down in Fells Point. If you guys, any beer drinkers, we were talking about beer drinkers.
Beer drinkers.
So a lot of people know about the horse you came in on. It's the bar. It's the oldest bar in America.
Oh, yeah, I know that is.
And there's a record store called Soundgarden, which is I'm right smack dead in the middle of those two. Come by the gallery. I'm open all day and all night for the rest of the week.
I love it. So, Lauren, we got to wrap things up, but we'll have you back. Thank you so much, and thank you for all you do. It's an honor to have you sit on the couch.
It's been great, Mark.
Thanks so much, okay? And, okay, that voice, man, no, you make me sound like a kid with that voice. Okay, now it's time for weather. Justin Chambers is standing by. What's going on, buddy?
Well, it's that time of year. We get some fall colors, but we also get some frosty conditions, and you can actually see some of the frost here. This is in West Virginia earlier this morning, and that is what it looked like there. You can see some of the frost right there on that leaf, and we will have the potential to see some frost around here by tomorrow morning. In fact, we got some frost advisories that would just popped up earlier on Monday morning. That's going to carry us into Tuesday morning as well. Less wind for today. Temperatures close to average. Still a bit breezy at times with plenty of sunshine, but then we'll be much warmer warmer as we head later into the week. So on your hour-by-hour forecast, we'll keep those low to mid-60s going for your afternoon highs, which is pretty close to average for this time of year. 66 is typically where we are. A lot of us in the upper 50s and low to mid-60s across Carroll and Baltimore counties for your highs. Even down through Howard and Anne Arundel counties, you're going to see the low to mid-60s as well, with, again, lots of sunshine and those temperatures close to average. Up and down the East Coast, overall, a pretty nice fall afternoon. Lower 60s, New York and Philly, down through Baltimore and D.C., a bit warmer. So warmer to the south and cooler to the north, with a lot of 50s in parts of Pennsylvania. Pilots today want to fly? Yeah, not too bad. Visual flight rules, VFR, a bit breezy at times, so we have to watch for that. And here's that frost advisory I was talking about. Pretty much all of us in central Maryland and at least Cecil County on the eastern shore under that frost advisory. It starts late tonight. We'll go through early tomorrow morning, so I want to protect those plants. I know some of those fall mums are hanging on. We've got warm conditions ahead later this week, and that ridge of high pressure is what's going to keep us mainly dry. That slides out to the east, and by the time we get into Wednesday and Thursday, it makes a little run to the south, and that's going to help to kind of bring around on that clockwise flow more of that southerly wind that picks up our temperatures and really warms us up into those above average numbers. 10-day forecast looks like this: mid 60s today, low to mid 70s through Wednesday, and then upper 70s. We'll see the lower 80s by Friday and Saturday, approaching the final weekend of October before we cool down quite a bit early next week.
This Be More Lifestyle segment is sponsored by Total Healthcare.
October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and while there is pink everywhere, Total Healthcare wants to bring awareness and action to women's health. We're joined now by Dr. Marcy J. White, the Chief Medical Officer at Total Healthcare. Welcome, Dr. White. How are you?
I'm well, thank you so much. How are you doing?
Great. So talk to us about why it's so important to raise awareness about breast cancer.
Well, it's important to raise awareness because we want to make sure that awareness translates into action for women's health. And so that's why many of us are wearing pink this month. We want to ensure that individuals are going and getting their screening mammograms.
And some people may be hesitant to get screened if they feel fine. What do you have to say to those people?
So, right, many of us feel fine most of the time. That's good. That's an example of optimal health. But screenings like mammograms can detect cancer way before symptoms appear. So they detect abnormalities when they're very small and long before you might have symptoms develop. And we know that when cancer is caught early in its more localized stages, the 5-year survival rate can be as high as 99%.
And Dr. White, who should receive mammograms?
So women over 40 should have annual mammograms. We know that women are typically the main caregivers of the family and in the community. And so we often put others first, but we need to make sure that we also prioritize our health. So annual visits and regular screenings are a way to have a proactive step toward better health and peace of mind.
And what can viewers do in their day-to-day lives to raise awareness for breast cancer?
So one thing they can do is persons can visit our website at www.totalhealthcare.org/pink to learn more information about breast cancer, the mammogram process, but also if you know an individual that's going through breast cancer treatment, to really support them in their diagnosis.
And Dr. White, again, thank you for joining us with this great and powerful information. Why don't you give us that information one more time, how people can reach you?
Sure. You can reach us at www.totalhealthcare.org/pink or give us a call to schedule your annual physical at 410-383-8300.
And thank you for joining us on Be More Lifestyle, okay?
Thank you.
Did you hit the snooze button when waking up this morning? Well, it turns out hitting snooze may not be all that bad. Coming up, the hidden health benefits one study is linking to hitting the snooze button. Stick around.